Hi, I'm just going to show you here the drawing again. We're going to set up, we're just going to show you how to test the solenoid coil and the capacitor. So in order to test the solenoid coil, the wires should be disconnected and you should have no live power on any resistance test of any component. So we'll just zoom in there on what we're going to test. Right, I'm just going to show you first. We're going to test the solenoid coil, and you can see there the solenoid coil. Terminal number 2 is the blue. Between terminal number 2 and the solenoid coil, you've got a blue wire. Right, and you can see the solenoid coil. The wire splits. One side goes to the brown wire, and one side goes to the black wire. Those two slanty lines represent the two coils. Right, so there's basically two coils of wire in there, and what we want to do is test the resistance of both of those. So therefore we're going to test between terminals 2 and terminals 1, and we should get a resistance of 1.4 ohms. And then we're going to test between terminal 2 and the black wire, which the black wire goes on to terminal number 8 up in the right hand corner there. So we're going to test the resistance of that side of the solenoid coil, and we should get a resistance of 1.4 thousand ohms, which is 1.4 k ohms. Okay, so let's do it. Right, I have a multimeter. My multimeter here. Sorry, I just have to zoom out a little bit again because I can't focus on the two things. Well, yeah, just to explain the digital multimeter, you can see it's set there to ohms there. Let's show you it there. See this here, this horseshoe symbol represents ohms, and the multimeter is presently set at that point. And you can see actually on the screen of the multimeter you have M ohms, which stands for mega ohms, which is millions of ohms. You can also see that there's OL on the screen, and that represents out of limits. Because leads are not connected to anything, that's what you'll get. So, right, when we go connecting, just zoom back a little bit again, and zoom in a little bit on the wiring of the control box base. Right, so we know what terminals we're going to be checking, so I'll just zoom out again so that you can see the multimeter as well as the wiring base. You won't get a good view because it's difficult to bring everything into focus with this setup. That's right, so you want to test between blue terminal there, between blue and brown, which is terminal 2 and terminal 1. And you can see on the digital multimeter we're getting a reading of 1.395 ohms, which is 1395 ohms, which is very close to what the specifications require at 1,400 ohms. Sorry, I just slipped off it there for a second. Right, so that's very close to what we're looking for at 1,400 ohms. So that's one winding of the coil. Now, in order to test the other one, we go between the blue wire and terminal number 8. That's terminal number 8 there. and we're looking for 1.4 ohms, and we're getting exactly 1.4 ohms. So that's you can see it there, 1.4 ohms. That's dead on. That's exactly what we're looking for. So that's perfect. That coil is perfect. Now just one other test. We want to test the capacitor, and on this we just have to press this function here for to get capacitance. You may not see that, but capacitance again is measured in microfarads, and we've got, this is the microfarad scale here. So I'm just going to put my probes on the, I've already disconnected the wires from the capacitor. So I'll just put my probes on those two wires. And there we have 4.01 microfarads, which again is spot on for that capacitor.